Why do we make trading harder than it really is? That's today's session. Why do we make trading harder than it really is? All right. It's like football, right? It's like soccer, you know, proper football. The game's dumb easy. You put the ball in the net, but we make it harder, right? It's the humans that make it harder than it really is. Um, so what happens? Look, it doesn't matter if you're entry, exit style, live management. If it's complex or simple, it's fine. The easiest part, I think, is the technicals. I think our ability, sometimes what we think about is, well, risk management. Is that the reason that it's harder? Is it risk management? Um, I'd say yes and no. So I think yes, risk management is a bigger reason. So to write something down here, here we go. I'd say it's not the entry or exit strategy that's not the number one reason trading is hard. Risk management is definitely a reason why, but that comes from somewhere. Where does that come from? Why is risk management inconsistent? Right? Everything derives from something. So here's the thing, right? Our minds did not evolve to make us good at trading. Right? Our brains are not wired like just by nature to make us good at trading, right? Our innate brain, our what we call reptilian brain, right? Our animalistic thinking, it's set up to help us survive from physical dangers in the world. So to really figure out why is trading kind of harder than it should be, you kind of have to go back, all the way back. We have to understand the modern human mind. So let's go into here. My bad. Close this out. Wrong button. So our minds are not developed to trade successfully. We are born to win, but raised to lose. How do we change that? So let's go back, right? Our mind naturally finds patterns. Right? We have an amazing ability to analyze, to plan, to create. We are born to create, whether we want to look at it on a spiritual level, on a biblical level, on a physical level, on all scales. We're born to create. And clearly, this has changed and evolved over the last hundreds of thousands of years. But we've only had trading around for, a little over 100 years. Like the trading that we know today, different types of trading, of course. So think about it. If you're coming from the beginning, if you're in the beginning of human life form, what are the essentials, right? What are you really looking for in life? Food, water, shelter. That's it. So if you're gonna survive, and then reproducing, right? So The essentials are surviving and having more people to survive with to help you survive. So the only thing that our brains were focusing on was for those things. Survival, right? Eat, drink, physically be alive. So don't die. That's it. Simple, right? Don't die. And over time we started to add certain things, right? There's certain things started becoming, just common in life. They started becoming just part of life. So our brains have changed a bit since those times, but not enough. So think about that. Think about this. And a good example is like a computer. So if you were to take an old computer and upgrade it with a new hard drive, new RAM, new processor, you do all these things, our minds are still running the same old program. So even though the hardware may have evolved, but our minds are still running the same program. So what are some main ways that what can we do? So what do we do, right? When we are so let me put this here. Physically evolved but our minds are still running the same program. So look, what do we do all the time? We assess and we judge everything. So anything new and just literally anything. Okay, is this good? Is this bad? Is this safe? Is this unsafe? Is this help me? Does it serve me? But now what happens before, there weren't lions and bears. Like, that's not on our mind anymore. Right? What are we scared of now? What are the things that we fear? Oh, am I not making enough? Am I being judged? Do I have for the bills? What are people going to think about me? How many likes do I get? So it's different, right? There's the number one thing is we assess and we judge everything. What else do we do, right? We're always seeking security and certainty. So before, as human beings, we were thinking, okay, the more we have, the better. So the more weapons, the better. The more food, the better. The better your shelter, the safer you're going to be. The more children you have, the better the chance that some of them are going to survive, and your lifeline, your genes are going to continue. So our mind now is still looking for that more money, more status, more love, more. So we want certainty, right? And we want that in the markets too, which you can't have. And so what else do humans always seek? It's belonging, right? You want to be a part of a group. You want to be part of the clan. You want to be part of the tribe. So how does the mind naturally protect us from rejection by the group? Right? Our mind naturally wants to be part of something. So our mind naturally wants us to follow the crowd, to fit in. Right? You get fearful when you think by yourself. Independent thinkers, or when you're starting to think more independently, it comes with fear because you are thinking for yourself and maybe by yourself. And then what happens? You start comparing yourself with other people. So the modern day mind is also doing those things, right? It's naturally is kind of guiding you to fit in. So evolution obviously has shaped our minds And, we're judging, we're criticizing ourselves, focused on what isn't there. We want things to be for sure. We're never satisfied with what we have. And we create all of these fear scenarios. So, of course, it's going to be hard to be a trader. You have this old program, these old belief systems. It's like we're programmed to play Tetris when we're playing, you know, in a whole different world. We're programmed to be playing in the game of Atari when now we have, 8K and the story's way more complex. There's a lot more things going on. So we're just so human. So what's the thing? What can we do? Well, the good thing is now we are aware, right? We have exposure, right? Where we realize that, okay, this is why we call it the Matrix. Like, oh yeah, we're living in a simulation because we have a program to a life that isn't actually even happening anymore. So what can we do? Right? We have to learn to take care of our thoughts, to be aware of our emotional states, so we're not just reacting to all of life. So we can do 4 major things, right? And this is called APPP. APPP. So 4 things to really, become more aware. So number 1, right? Awareness. You must learn how to get. You must learn how to get out of these mental traps. Right? You have to learn how to rewire, reprogram your mind. So you want to understand your thoughts, your feelings. So here we have APPP. Oh, my bad. That app. Awareness. Practice. Progress. My bad. Process. Perspective. Whoa. So awareness. Right, with awareness, you have to learn, right, how to reprogram your mind. So first, reprogramming. Reprogramming. Right, understanding our thoughts and feelings, and this is how you learn how to transform your relationship with them, right? So transform your relationship with your thoughts and feelings. This is the first step, right? Sequence matters. Okay, so here, sequence matters. So awareness, this is 1. This is how you will start to override, right, these programs. You can't skip it. Can't escape it. So become aware. How do you become aware, right? It's like, okay, step 1, aware. Well, how do I do that? How do I become aware of my mind? How do I do this? So here's what happens. Sometimes, and I would love to know what you guys think about this, but sometimes what we do is we are always consuming, right? We're always, whether it's listening to music, watching, videos, movies, scrolling, just like endless scrolling. And what happens is we don't realize what's actually going on. You have to get to the next thing because it's either you scheduled it or someone scheduled it for you. So sometimes we haven't even caught up with ourselves. And so with awareness, it's really almost like a reminder. It's a reminder to just be. The reason people praise meditation so much is because when you're meditating, you're creating a space of presence. So you can just observe like all the thoughts that are running through your head. You can observe that's what awareness is, right? Awareness is almost like your attention catching your observation. So like there's always things going on, but sometimes our attention doesn't see it. So when you meditate, right, you're setting your intention of, hey, let me just let the mind be, and you get to just watch it unfold. So first step, right, to doing this, it's how to practice awareness is whenever you're, let's say, doing something, or just as often as you can, as you want. You can even set reminders for yourself as just, hey, be aware, right? I am aware. But what happens is in that moment, all of a sudden, like everything will go slow motion, and you'll connect with your senses and higher faculties. So awareness is almost like is just connecting with your senses and higher faculties. I would say that's one of the best ways I can define just awareness in itself. Okay, now that's the first step. Second step, step number 2, we have practice. All right, practice. So again, what are we doing? Right, we're getting to a point. What's the intention of these steps again? Right, we're learning how to handle our thoughts and emotions. So first is awareness, 2 is practice. So here, right, trading. Yeah, of course, reading books and seeing these theories, it'll get you up there with the technicals, but it has nothing to do with your actual ability to trade. To get good at trading, guess what? You have to practice trading. So so as much as we want to read and do the information, it's you need reps, right? You need reps. Can't skip the work. So that's number 2. Right, practice. From there, what do we have, guys? We have process. Right. So okay. So what's process? Step 3, you're practicing, and then we have process. So then remember, this is sequential in this order. But this is so crucial. Remember, you're not here to chase wins and lose and to avoid losses. You're not here to chase or to hide from either of these things. When we chase something, right, we're assuming something's running away. And when we're avoiding something, we're assuming that moment is going to be unpleasant. So we're what we're doing here under the process step is we're developing a method so that we can focus on probable systems, right? So the reason we have back testing and live trading sessions and boot camps and strategies is so that, hey, this is something, here's an approach to the market that works. Now you have to go through the motions so that you can understand it, and then believe in it enough to then go do the thing. So this is where you have to focus more, right? Focus more on duplicatable models and let go of instant gratification. So focus on duplicatable inputs rather than instant outputs. And 4, perspective, right? With perspective, what does this lead us with? Perspective here is, look, it doesn't matter how long you've been trading, how long you will be trading. It doesn't matter how much you think you know or how much you think you don't know. Sometimes trading is just stressful. It's intense, but that's included, right? Perspective is what allows you to gain something out of everything, right? You can almost like completely detach yourself from whatever the outcomes are. But like I just said, perspective is how you get something out of anything. Okay? So in trading, how you get something of everything. In trading, you're constantly in trading you have to learn. You're learning how to find silver linings indefinitely. This is the only way that you can really survive as a trader. Only way. No other way. Is by doing something like this. So, becoming and developing this mindset, right? Really getting to the next level. It's not instant, right? This isn't like instant ramen. this is not this is not just like microwavable food. Change is always like this. If you're focused, if you're relentless and you're applying these steps, you can improve so much, right? So look, yes, go and find the proper trading plan that works for you. Of course. Yes, have risk management, like a risk management process. Have specific rules for yourself. 100%. But you need to have awareness. You need to put the practice in, right? You need to understand your process and you need to utilize perspective always to survive long enough to see your entry and exit strategies, right? For you to actually be disciplined for it. You use this sequence so that you can actually get yourself enough time to see it through. Because sometimes it's not even just time, it's experience. We need to expose ourselves to enough situations where we have the proof that we're going to do the right things, right? You only build confidence, well, not only, but you can build confidence through evidence. You can build confidence through evidence.